We'll go ahead and bring the Board of Works meeting to order. Were you both given a chance to read the minutes from the previous meeting, February 1st?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. Huh?
I almost voted.
Oh. We'll take your vote under advisement. Okay, first matter of business. We have Jeremy, paving contract with Wayne Asphalt for the Community Crossings matching grant.
The bid for Wayne Asphalt was reviewed by USI Consultants.
That might not be on.
Alright, USI Consultants picked up all three bids and reviewed them all and agreed that Wayne Asphalt, which is the low bid for the Community Crossings project, is the lowest and responsible bid.
Okay.
I recommend that you accept that bid. If you choose to do so, Phyllis has a contract that would need to be signed this evening because I have to have everything sent to NDOT by March the 3rd.
Okay.
It'll be prior to the next meeting.
And did that come in under the estimate? That was good.
Quite a ways under this.
Good.
I'll make a motion to accept the bid from Wayne Asphalt for the community crossings.
I'll accept it. Or second it.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. Okay. You have those to sign?
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact dollar amount, but I believe we're 100 and some thousand
It's
under.
$1,087,673.90. $1,087,673.90.
1087.
673.90. And that includes 19th Street.
Tyler, did your motion include authorization to sign the contract?
Yep.
And then also I'll need you to sign the date form too. So I'm going to pass these around. I can pull in the dates and stuff, just that needs signed. And this is signed right here.
The contract you're signing with Wayne Asphalt was in the original bid package that Tim Baker had already reviewed last fall.
And they have provided the payment bonds and their performance bond.
This go. We're on here on this one?
Yes.
All right. Craig, you want to sign those two?
I do.
You want to do the annual ADA review, talk about it?
Can we sign here on this side?
There's two spots. Both the yellow lines.
Here?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay, for our annual ADA review, we have to do an annual review just showing progress. In our transition plan, it's stated in there that our goal is 12 ramps per year, curb ramps, as long as funding is available to do that. This year we're a little low due to the funding and the lack of paving projects, which we're still way ahead on our projections due to a lot of construction over the years that have exceeded that 12 minimum. So I'd like to report this year we had improved 6 ramps, 1 at 9th and Madison, 1 at 4th and Jackson, and 4 at the Red Sports Complex. That brings a total at December 31 of 21. You have 142 that are still classified red. You have 60 that are still classified yellow. And your total number of green, good-to-go ramps are 349.
Okay.
So you just need to make all that a matter of record and I will submit this to Phyllis for her records.
Okay.
And all the information on it.
I'll make a motion to make the ADA report a matter of record.
I'll second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay. So, did you have anything else for the Board of Works?
Yeah, back in December, Tim Baker and we had a discussion here in the Board of Works on the rates at the solid waste district, and there was some question on kind of where we were at, because the increase was out of the ordinary, I would say, or above the average that we normally see this, annually. Craig had asked for some information on recycling and tonnages and such. At the end of December, I'd sent all that information out to you guys and council. Also with some concerns and such that, I see going forward. And I'd like to take some time, maybe possibly even recommend a special meeting at some point in the near future to sit down and go over some of that information. The reason why I'm asking for that is it could be fairly lengthy in time. I know there's other business that needs to be taken care of within the city, so I don't want to take up, the whole hour or better discussing this. So,
So I think he's looking at just sanitation improvements and equipment. Would this be a special Board of Works meeting or a special council meeting that we would have to discuss all that?
It
Depends on if you want to make a decision on if it's money, then it would be council. If you're just discussing and not really making a decision, how it would work.
I wasn't sure if it would have to go through both meetings or not.
It could potentially.
Well, if we don't make a decision,
Right.
if he's just getting the information out, we could just do a special council meeting, right?
Yes.
And then-
Or would you have to do a special?
Well, I think
Yeah, you're going to have to post that you're...
it'll be public. It'll just
Right.
be what he wants to talk about is probably going to take an hour or so. I'd rather not do that in the middle of a normal
It
council
wouldn't be
meeting.
an executive session, it would just be
It's a special.
a special meeting where you can make a decision,
Right.
if you choose to,
Right.
where you wouldn't be able to in an executive session. But, this could be an hour or more, so I'm, respective of the rest of the department head's time with, bringing other matters to the board.
Right. There's something else I want to discuss in a special meeting is the whole ARPA funding, making a plan for that, and I just think that might be a good time to do it too. It'll still be a public meeting, but that's another 45-minute meeting of all of us sitting down and discussing that and coming up with a plan of how we want to spend it. So I think maybe it'd be a good time to do both of them together and have just one special meeting and advertise it, but that's what's going to be discussed at that meeting.
I concur. I'll make a motion that we accept that.
So it'll probably be a council meeting. Do we need to make anything in this meeting or?
I
Let's
guess,
check our calendars.
I guess it depends. Are you looking at purchasing new equipment and,
Possibly,
okay, then that would be a Board of Works
yes.
matter. If you're going to be looking at getting approval to either
I
submit,
think
depending on the cost of the equipment, going through the purchasing ordinances.
I think it would be more of a educational, we wouldn't be purchasing anything right then,
That's something.
but
Okay.
but it's more educational planning going forward.
Then I think
Getting some
council should be
feedback
fine.
from Phyllis on some funding, and then also getting some feedback from council.
Okay.
And you folks as to if you agree going forward, disagree going forward, as to how I see that we need to look at operating.
Yeah, I think we can do it all on council and just not necessarily make the decision that just the next council meeting we could make a decision if we wanted to.
Right.
Or
I think
we could just do a joint...
A joint Board of Works council
Board-
meeting.
Board of Works and council and...
Yep.
Let's, so can we, in the council meeting tonight, could we schedule a special meeting? Let's do that. Let's just wait till the council meeting and schedule it then.
But I know it's been a long sometimes since we'll get the information out, I just don't want to
Right.
let it lapse, and also here in another 30 or 45 days, we're going to be discussing budgets for
Right.
3.
No, I appreciate that you've done the work now, and it's way ahead of budget time. But we need, in the council meeting tonight, we'll schedule a meeting,
Yep.
so at least we're going to do
Just
it.
need a little direction at this
Yep.
point, so.
I agree, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay. I think we dropped that motion. I think in the council meeting, we'll schedule that meeting so that the rest of the guys are up here.
Concur. What is it you were doing?
We're just gonna do it.
How about Chief Corral? Yeah, a couple different things here.
I submitted some letters to Phyllis. It was 1 year anniversary on Officer Gabe Schwaller, and I think that was February the 8th. And then next week, I believe February the 19th is Officer Jack Nunez. I'm making a recommendation to waive them off their probation and to make them first-class patrolmen. And then adjust their pay based on their 1 year anniversary date.
Okay. Sounds like they're both performing well.
Very much. It's hard to believe it's been 1 year. I was just kind of looking at my calendar, and both have settled in very nicely. Officer Schwaller just bought a home, Jessica's house, with his fiancee, and then Officer Nunez still is at Belmont Estates in the office, having a good rapport with a lot of...
Is that working out well?
Very well. In fact, what's good about it is that we did have a lot of problems out there that the owner was unaware of. So Officer Nunez is kind of like the liaison officer out there. He is contacted by all 3 shifts if there's any domestics, drug activity, or unwanted parties that's not supposed to be there, and she immediately pretty much evicts them. So the trouble is going away very quickly.
Good.
He's keeping a good rapport with Kim out there, so I can't say our calls are going down, but a lot of action is being taken to remove the troublemakers.
Okay. Good.
I'll make a motion to remove the officers from their probation period.
And make them patrolling? I'll second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. And we're going to lose one for a little bit, right?
Oh, yes. Officer Elwell is still in the military, and he was recently given his deployment papers. He left Sunday, I think, for about 5 weeks of training in Texas before his deployment, and then he'll come back for a few more weeks to be stationed at the Fort Wayne Air Base, and then from I think around end of April, he'll be deployed to Niger, Africa. So got a couple get-togethers for him. Counselor showed up out there. Very overwhelming. He hates to miss it. I think most things he's going to miss his children, but he's that's what he signed up for. So he's all not really excited, but he's got his duty. So
Right.
he's a real good kid.
Right.
We're going to miss him, but I think around June we're going to develop a care package for him. I guess he said it takes about a month for it to arrive, but we've been in contact with him, and he'll come back to the department when he gets to Fort Wayne. He'll get to come over and say hi to the guys and keep us updated. But yeah, so
Yeah, he told me the other day that even though he's coming back to Fort Wayne, he's still not. He won't be with us until the whole thing's over.
he thought
right?
he could, and
Right.
his commander said no. I thought that'll be a benefit for us, but
Yeah.
we're going to be okay. Officer Bessison, who's been he's come back to light duty this Thursday.
Okay.
So he's told me his health prognosis is going very well. He's dying to come back to full-time work. So even though we're down 2 officers right now, we're going to be fine.
Right. Okay. Okay.
And then Elwell's services from February 13th through December 13th of 2022. So we just need to make that letter a matter of record.
So that starts as training time, everything, and then his deployment to Nigeria, Africa is all in that time, I believe.
Just, yeah, and he has in parentheses, not earlier than December 13th. So hopefully it doesn't go longer than that. But
I'll make a motion to make that a matter of record.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, thank you. Do you have the letter from Emily? Okay, I have a letter from Emily Larson, who was the director at the Hive, who she has decided not to retain that position anymore. She wants to get back to doing more artwork, and so I need to make this a matter of record, her resignation from the director of the Hive.
So moved.
Yeah.
what's
Get a
her
replacement.
What's her
Yeah,
effective date?
Her last day of work will be March 11th. So she gave us quite a bit of time, and she said it was nothing with the job. She actually loved it down there. She just was trying to find more time to get back to her work as an artist.
Did you start interviews?
We haven't yet. We have a couple feelers out there, but we're just, we had some people that were interested when we hired Emily, so we're trying to reach out and see if they're, since their applications were in and everything, we're seeing if they're still interested. So, need to do it as soon as possible, especially with sculpture tour and everything getting kicked up again here pretty soon. We need to have somebody in there. So,
I'll make a motion that we make that a matter of record.
Second.
okay, motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Same sign.
While you're on resignation, should we do the volunteer fireman?
Yeah, that's right. That was one of the things.
That's Roger Gage's, and I just have an email from that letter.
Okay. We also have two resignations from the paid-on-call firemen, Roger Gage and Matt Lose.
Any resignation letters?
Yeah.
Actually, I just have an email from Les on Matt Lose's. I didn't actually get a letter. Les, you never found a letter from Matt Lose, did you? A resignation letter from Matt Lose? The guy received one. All I got is your email. I have Roger's, but...
Yeah, Matt sent it in the body of an email, so.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to make a matter of record that Roger Gage and Matt Loesch retired from the,
Roger had
resigned from the volunteer fire.
Yeah, I can read Roger's real quick. Roger says he's been with the department for 40-plus years, and will never forget all the wonderful friendships and camaraderie that I was able to experience with everyone. I feel it is the right time for me to retire. It is time to give this position up to someone that is younger and more able-bodied to commit this line of work and to the department as a whole. I want to wish each and every one of you continued safety in each of the years to come as you continue to serve us all and keep us safe. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this department for so many years. God bless. So, over 40 years Roger was. So, thank you to Roger and Matt for their time as volunteer firemen.
I'll second Craig's motion.
Motion is second to make those a matter of record. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, no more resignations tonight.
Yeah, there's no more.
Kevin, I'm going to talk about the solar project, or possible solar project.
Okay, so we put out requests for proposals and qualifications. That was published in the paper on January 28th and February 4th. We put that out bids, or I guess proposals, were due today by 4 p.m. I did not receive any bids for that project. I only had one company reach out and ask for the actual RFQ, and that was Kokosing. And then they declined not to submit a proposal. Kind of had a feeling that's the way it was going to go with some of the deadlines and some of the, I guess, strict guidelines we had for it to protect ourselves as a city. But now we have that. We've been through that process, and now we have the actual BOT, possible contracting that we can use in the future. There was some recent, I guess, court decisions that may or may not extend that deadline for the net metering. It changed some things for a different company, non-related to AEP. So who knows if that'll change anything for them. I kind of doubt it, but it still may be something that we can pursue in the future if the rules do change.
Yeah, so at least you have the groundwork laid, and
Yeah.
thank you to you and Ann for all the work getting that all put together. I think we were just behind the 8 ball on the timeline.
Yeah, and when we first started talking about it, we were kind of hoping there was some contract things that we could slide in that we already had in place, and it wasn't feasible, so it was worth a shot. But
Well, we'll see where this legislation goes, and
yeah,
if it makes it beneficial to do it, we'll look at it again.
Yeah, I'd personally like to thank Kevin and Ann for stepping into the arena and getting us the opportunity to do the BOT.
Yeah.
I think that gives us another tool in our tool chest that we'll be able to be more responsive.
And I think there was some legislation too that was proposed, but I think that got shot down in committee.
Correct.
So it never got even a shot. So
To the floor.
to extend that deadline.
Right. We're going to change the statute, that July 1 deadline.
Phyllis, do you need a copy of this for anything?
Do we need to make that a record?
I would still make it a matter of record, just
Just in case.
yes.
I want to make the matter record, the
Published
advertisement.
January 28th and February 4th.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Can I go through that Dixon contract?
Yeah, if you're up here, might as well do it. So we also have a contract that has to do with the painting of a water tower.
Yeah. This is an agreement that Dixon has proposed. This is a company we've used for decades as far as any engineering having to do with our tanks or towers. What this contract entails is we had our water towers inspected, I believe, last year by Dixon, and they recommended painting at least one over the next 3 years. So we plan on this summer starting with the east tower out off Pickway Road. What Dixon does, they don't do the actual painting. They're just the professional services involved, so they'll do the bidding, contracting, inspections, and then they come back a year afterwards and do any warranty inspections also. So this contract, it's not necessarily a amount to exceed. It's more of a time and materials type contract. They've estimated their fee to be $34,000. Like I said, so if we move forward with this, they will get the ball rolling and get it out to bid for contractors, handle all that for us. And then, like I said, they'll go through and write up all the specs that we need. There's a couple repairs to each tower, some minor weldings, but it's mostly just paint. And with that east tower, we've talked about changing some paint schemes on it too. There's a lot of mildew and buildup on the bottom side of that tower. And we've talked about changing the painting on it and possibly how it looks. And actually, and I gave this to Ann to review. There's a few things that she would like changed in it. A lot of it has to do with liability and jurisdiction type things. So they have not sent me back a contract with those fixes or remedies on that. So I guess tonight, if you're inclined, I'd like to get approval for the contract pending review of the revisions that they made. If they're good to go.
So I looked over it, and kind of in coordination with Kevin, he was really comfortable with the scope of services that were going to be provided. The Dixon is a Michigan company. They're contracting with an Indiana municipality to do work in Indiana. And it wasn't clearly defined what the controlling law was for the contract or who had jurisdiction over any kind of dispute. So I asked for that kind of revision. They don't anticipate the revisions that have been requested being an issue, but they just don't have that form of contract back to us yet.
And we talked about painting the bottom half of the tower darker, or at least the other side of the bowl, just to mitigate that green that you see on the bottom of it. And we also, Dan had brought up possibly putting the Belmont logo on there so you could see it in school.
I would work with Wiley when Wiley's a potential. That would be a great marketing tool to drive on the game.
Yeah, I think we talked about it. We've talked to the AD out there. It's trying to come up with a plan. I think it'd be really cool to still have Decatur on it, but have the Belmont logo facing the school so you can see it from the parking lot and the football field and that whole area over there. As I talked about the other day, it's partnerships, and I think the schools is a great system to partner with. So we'll see what it would entail. We'll talk to whoever the contractors are and see if we can get it done.
And when we spoke to Dixon too, I brought that up, that may be a possibility, and it didn't seem like that's going to make a big difference on costs at all. It's just the big cost is getting somebody in the air painting it, not necessarily what paint colors you're putting on it. So.
Or not so much what, I'm just agreeing with Kevin.
Yeah. The nice thing about Dixon is they're engineers and they inspect them for you and everything. They don't do the painting, so they come in with no agenda. They're just going to inspect your tank, tell you what's wrong with it, what needs to be done, and then this side they'll put the bid specs out and inspect it a year later to make sure it was done right and it's holding up.
Yeah, overall, estimated price is around $200,000 once we're all said and done to paint the tower and all in for the whole project.
How long does it last, Kevin?
About every 10 years or so is when we have them looked over. Bill, I believe it's been about 10 years, Bill. Yeah. About 10 years since we painted the tower, 15.
That tower was built in 2007.
So, okay, that's the original.
So that's what we painted.
And I believe Dixon was the same company that did it.
They were the engineer, yeah. So 15 years though. Okay. All right. So we need to make a motion to accept this contract after the
Subject to revision.
Right.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Les, got a couple things. Start the hiring process and a couple quotes.
Well, with what's transpired with me and with Jeff, and so we need to do firefighter and since been promoted from within. And then with the two letters, Matt and Roger. So we're just asking that go ahead and open up the hiring process again for full-time, and we'll also take volunteers at the same time. So we did have one the last time that applied for both and ended up filling a spot as a volunteer. So he was in that hiring process. So we've got everything ready to give to Jamie to go on the website and start the process here as quick as we can.
How long since you hired full-time?
Bubba Brown.
Yeah, Bubba
Are
was.
any in that pool still there, or?
Well, yeah, but we'll take applications again. Yeah, we don't have enough to, and Jeff and I have been talking to some other communities our size, Auburn, Angola, Bluff, some of those that are similar, and I think this time we're gonna put in our application letter that we would accept a lateral application. That doesn't mean they're gonna have any higher preference over anybody else, but a lot of towns our size or cities our size, and Phyllis and I talked a little bit about if we were to hire a lateral, what we would need to do, and so you never know. We might find somebody that wants to locate to Decatur that's already in the 77 fund, so that would be a plus, possibly. So,
I'll make a motion to move forward with the hiring process.
okay.
I'll second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. And then you have a couple quotes, right?
Yep. In the 2022 Lowit budget, we had budgeted in that 442, which is buildings, to do something with the heating system in the living quarters. With the boilers, and we didn't know this when we put the boilers in back however long ago it was, but it's been a long time. They were moved from the old city garage. We actually have 3 different types of heating systems in the building, so it's very difficult to get the 34 building, which is different than the 61 building, which is different than the 83 building, because they all should be running at a different heat level for the boilers. So the living quarters is either smoking hot or cold. You can't really control the air very well because it was just kind of a thrown-in thing. So what we're thinking, and we got 2 quotes, one from Masters and one from Arnold Mechanical, is to go to a forced air system, gas forced air. We've already got air there, so there's ductwork. So we have both of them do a quote, and so I have, because it does fall within our $10,000 to $49,999. So we do need 2 quotes. So I have those. Want me
Yeah. Go.
to
Yeah.
bring them up or just?
But yeah. Did you go over them all? And
Yeah, we went through them because actually Masters did 2 different quotes. They did 2 different ones, and Arnold Mechanical did one. So
this is putting forced air heat in there, right? And you say you have air conditioning already?
and then yeah, we would be, and the air outside unit needs to be upgraded with
Okay.
the whole thing. So it would be HVAC, heating and air,
So you're talking about the whole HVAC system?
in the living quarters. So that would
Not
be
for the garages.
bedroom, full-time shower, office space, living.
Total replacement?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can bring them up if you want.
Who is the responsible bid that you chose?
Arnold is the cheapest. And then Masters did it with two of them. There's about, here's Arnold.
So he did an 80% and 95%.
Mm-hmm. But there is conditions. They said we can't put a 95% in an unconditioned space. And theirs doesn't include electrical and anything with a flue vent through the roof, and Reed said his does. So that was one thing we called on today. So if we were to go with the 95, we would have to condition that upstairs space where the furnace would go. So
Okay, so this is a 95% Duquesne. And with Arnold Mechanical, it's $15,497.
mm-hmm. Now he would need half down, which we could do, I'm sure. You can keep those. I've got other ones.
Okay.
Who's Arnold?
It's Reed Arnold. He was a police officer with us a few years ago.
Yeah.
So he has a mechanical business now.
He now does heating
In
and
Adams
air.
County?
His brother's always done heating and air conditioning too.
He's done some, well, he kind of limped the air crew last year for us, so.
They had Arnold, he did the old Bluffton.
Yeah.
Brent Arnold's done a lot of work for the city as well, the whole family.
Right. So it's
But is he a licensed heating and air guy?
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just had not heard of them yet.
Yeah, he was probably started this business a year ago, probably 2 years ago maybe.
Yeah, I suppose too.
And then the other bid for the 95% was $18,072.
And while we're talking heating and air, can I bring up, they hired Felberhart to take over everything on this building? Does it make sense to have someone like that doing a contract for multiple buildings?
I think that's a good point, at least checking into that.
I don't want to complicate it, but
I think the system that they're putting in down there at the fire station is more of a residential system. It's not really
it's not a
Felberhart's.
commercial building.
It's not their expertise.
Now,
Right.
the boilers
fair
are,
enough.
the boilers are of a commercial,
Yeah, what's going on?
and that's probably why we're
So are
having-
you eliminating the boilers with this?
No, because the boilers will still do the bays.
The garage.
Oh,
But they'll do it more efficiently if we eliminate
Without-
the living quarters
Yeah.
out of there. Because we gotta run the boilers hot enough to keep the bays warm.
right.
That makes the
Okay.
living quarters way too hot. Or way too cold, because you bump
How
it
many
down.
years have you been struggling with this?
Since we put the boilers in, sorta. I mean, we just kind of, when we moved the boilers,
And that's a long story.
Oh, when was that?
what,
I came
9,
from the
10?
old street garage. down
We
Third
we
Street.
removed them from the old street garage before it was demoed and moved them down there. And, because they were only 2 years old in the old street garage.
Okay.
So it's kind of been a struggle.
But you've been
and
struggling since 2009.
9 or 10, right in there. But we've changed some thermostats, and we've had a couple guys that have come in and explained how we kind of had to kind of find a happy medium of how warm we could run the boilers. And it took a couple years just to figure out you can't run them this hot, but you can't run them this cold. And the heat has been the big issue. But while we're doing it, the air the air struggled last year. We had to have Reed in twice just to...
Because that's a separate system at this point.
Yeah, because that's all that's air conditioned is
Yeah.
the living quarters.
Let me see the bids.
And they both made multiple trips in to measure and do some square footage things to make sure they were giving us enough BTUs and enough tonnage on the air. So
you looked over these bids and you're making a recommendation?
yeah, I would go with Arnold. The work he's done for us before. I think his work is he's capable of the job. So. And both of them are, you're kind of subject to, hopefully everything stays within reason. It went up from what we had used as a budgetary last year. At that time, 15,000 was ample. Now we're over, but we've got money in the budget to finish the project. So. But they both are like, we need to get you on the schedule here soon, and lock in the price. So that's kind of the big key right now.
And did you say, I think you said something about the warranty. Is the warranty a little longer on that?
Yeah, I think it's the heat plant that Reed's quoted has a little bit better warranty than Masters does. Is it Duquesne or one of them that's a little bit? There's actually Reed's doing two separate little systems within a system. So like the bedroom, because to do a zoned, it's too small a space to do like a zone plenum, which Tyler, you're probably...
You're doing the office area and the living room too?
Well, yeah, I guess, if you're only using 400 cubic feet over here, and it's 1,600 cubic feet, when it comes on, you got to dump 1,200 cubic feet of air.
Right.
somewhere.
Yeah, I was asking, are you using you're doing the office and the living quarters?
Yes.
Or at the living room area?
Yes.
And the bedroom?
That whole living space.
Wouldn't you want your office maybe separated out?
I think that's why they have two zones, so
Okay.
Yeah.
two different.
Yeah, the bedroom's a zone. Bedroom and that bath's a zone, and the office area, living room's a zone.
Okay.
That makes sense.
I don't think the price seems out of reason. I thought it seemed a little high, but I guess I thought it was just the bedrooms, but there's a whole other side of that.
Yeah.
So, if he has the money to budget it, I'll make a motion to approve the lowest bid.
I'll second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, same sign.
Yeah, keep those.
Okay.
I've got, yeah.
Ian, you have,
When will the work be done?
As soon as we can get with him, and
I mean, he's able to do it in the next month or two?
probably within, I would say, mid-April.
Okay.
So he would be able to get it in before we go into the cooling season, but after we're kind of hopefully.
But you've already been living with the heat, so you know how to do that.
Well, we know how that works, so, you know.
Okay, thanks, Les.
Les, what age are your three buildings, 34, what was that?
The center original part is 34. Then the north end, the north two doors is 1961. And the south end is 1983.
That's quite a record.
Yeah.
So the south side's the new side.
Yeah.
You got a letter of engagement from Bob Ehrman?
I would ask permission from, or authority from the Board of Works to be able to engage Mr. Ehrman for his legal counsel in an issue that was brought to the city's attention. I think he has done work within the city. He's with Holler and Colvin, and it's a matter that I am learning, but would really appreciate his guidance to kind of lead the way on this one. So
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay.
thank you very much.
Yep. Did you have anything else for Board of Works?
Who's the guy?
The bid from the loss, do we want to talk about that?
Ehrman.
Board of Works Council?
EHRMAN.
Kurt, did you want to talk about Limberlost bid right now, or?
Is he going to just be associate counsel for you?
The Limberlost, the new bid. He's waiting on another bid, the other bid.
We want to make this tax to be a matter of record and give Kurt the authorization to demo 710 Sherman.
Okay. We have a tax deed from 710 Schermeyer. We need to make this a matter of record and give authorization for Kurt to go ahead with demolition on that building.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Been a long time coming on that one.
I made the motion. Greg second.
What was the address on that?
710 Schermeyer.
Schermeyer.
That's going to be a tear down.
It's gonna be a fall over. It might be just a pickup.
Getting one of those.
You have anything else, fellas? Anybody else have anything?
No.
Okay, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
For a couple racks.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.